Radical Feng Shui with Charlene. In my last video, I was talking about geomancy. Geomancy is the study of underground earth energy. And so in my last video, I was talking about trying to keep a space in your garden that's kind of wild. You can even do this on a balcony. Just kind of place a little spot there. You can put some wildflowers and don't over groom it. Just kind of, maybe put some shells from the ocean or things that you've gathered that are kind of wild and will attract that wild energy to come and infiltrate your garden or even your balcony. So I talked a little bit about that because when I go in to create a garden for somebody, I look for 5 different things. Now, I'm a dowser, which is dowsing for water, but I also douse many things underground. Grave sites, power spots. There's so many things you can douse that may be affecting underneath your garden or underneath your house. But when I go to do a garden, I douse for 5 things. The first thing I douse for is I go into the land and with my dowsing rod or rods, whatever you might use. If you don't use it, you might just kind of intuit it yourself. Kind of walk in, just kind of clear yourself, maybe meditate before you go out. Find the heart of the garden. It may not be the center of the garden, but it just might be the center. The heart of the garden is a location you can kind of do anything. We'll get to that later. The next thing I look for is the powerful male positive spot in the garden. It's a masculine area, so I find that. Then I find, of course, the powerful female area in the garden. 2 more things I douse for. One is the powerful positive spot of the garden, high energy. And then I douse for the energy that's the lowest, low denominator, the negative spot in the garden. Those 5 things, kind of like the elements, there's a balance between all of it, give you the basis of a garden. So when I plot those out on land that hasn't been developed yet or on somebody's garden, then we connect those by walkways, and that's what forms the garden. Now the negative spot you leave alone because it won't grow anything. The positive spot, great place for flower or food gardens. The heart of the garden, you can put a sculpture. Masculine spot and feminine spot, you can also put sculptures or a place to stop and rest and take it in. So the heart and the male and female areas are great places to put a nice table or chair you can sit in, maybe a sculpture, a water feature, depending on where that water feature is. These are all good things to put in this type of garden. Like I say, use your intuition, go into your garden and see if you can find those spots. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back with more. Charlene here, Radical Feng Shui with Charlene. Please subscribe. Ciao.